Well, hello everyone. I'm Spencer, also known as ScreenSpeak, and in today's video, this is my Stranger Things Season 5 finale spoiler review. So without further ado, let's discuss. Alright guys, so this is a very sentimental, exciting video. You can see I'm wearing my Stranger Things shirt, as I have been this entire, for all three reviews for all these three parts here. And I've been wearing it, watching the show and reviewing the show, and this has been so bittersweet. We're here. And I've heard so much talk about this season, and people were having issues with the acting and some of the writing and all this sort of stuff. I just have loved the things I've talked about. I've loved the chemistry between Max and Holly, trying to get them out. I've loved, just Max is a gorgeous actress in my opinion, but Holly is perfect in this role. Now Fisher playing Holly. I was worried. I was wondering what the storyline of Holly was going to be like. Oh, I heard they were aging her up, and I was like, oh, is that crucial to the season? Yes. Like, you know how they age up characters, like, oh, well, maybe it's just because she needs to be older. No. She is playing a role. In the past, the twins that they had cast for Holly would not have fit the story at all. And there's people were trying to say, oh, this is going to be like Game of Thrones all over again. Listen, this is perfect. Such a perfect finale. In my opinion, this is the just checking time here. I'm trying to make sure I'm good at the time. This is not like Game of Thrones. Like, this is like the Spider-Man No Way Home, Avengers Endgame, wrap it up. Like, get the gang here. We're all back. Yes, and then have it a very emotional payoff. Right. The thing I will say, not about the finale, or like the whole what they did with making this to me was where I have a confusion and like thought in my head a couple points here. So I want to compare this finale to the season 4 finale, where I think that was like 2.5 hours. And you know something, I want to do like a test, but like it doesn't even matter the length of the episode, but like, they made this one, not that this had to be a 3-hour finish, but they made this like a feature film, but like the last one was a feature film. You know how season 4 ended with them going like, great music by the way, with this like epic cliffhanger, whoom, 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 and like the world, like the Hawkins was split in 4, and I myself, and I think other people were like, oh cool, we're just going to see the next season take place right after that, and we're going to have the world in chaos, kind of like Avengers Endgame, where the world is in chaos after the snap and nobody knows what to do, right? But no, we're just kind of having our old jolly lives, and the military's taken over, the world's split in 4, it's all fine, guys. La 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 la. Oh, okay, like we're fine, I guess. Max is still in a coma. Now we have the gang doing the crawl and this stuff at the beginning of the season, and I love where this season really kicked off and went on the journey as they did. And at the end of this season, which I'll get more depth into the finale, but at the end of this finale episode, very emotional, which I'll talk about, and they had this nice end credit sequence, like an 80s movie, where they had the Stranger Things intro at the beginning, but it was just the letters coming in with the number 5, none of the names. At the end, we do this like in No Way Home, where they have like, here's all the Spider-Man, here's like all the 3 Spider-Man actors, here's like the the villains, Willem Dafoe and Jamie Foxx and Alfred Molina, all that stuff. We get that here. We get that, and it's very cool, nostalgic, like the credits style, the names, like the animate, like the pictures of past seasons. I like that quite a bit. But it feels like we lost the, I don't know, like we lost the oomph, because last season, I'm not saying we lost the oomph, because we need a satisfying conclusion this season. But I feel like this movie to last season, Again, last season did a lot of things. I love all of Stranger Things. But last season it was a little like, we're going away. Like, we have the California storyline. We have this storyline. And then now it all converges. And I love that. I love that Holly's here. And Will the Sorcerer's here. And we're back doing D&D. Like, we saved the kids. Now, the thing I want to say, that I didn't think this is like Game of Thrones, what I've heard people say. And I've heard people say this and that. The thing I agree with, but I'm also kind of fine with, is the conclusion of Vecna and the final fight. Listen, we had a fight. I didn't need it to be 30 minutes, because if it was overdone, yes, it was a little quick, but as I reminisce and think about it after the fact, stuff happened. Like, I go back to the Starcourt Mall, the Battle for Starcourt finale episode, where that episode has so much action, has so much going for it, that I'm not, like, terribly disappointed with the action in the finale. And only because, like, to me, it's like, just defeat Vecna. Just get it over with. I feel like... Didn't we also get a fight with him last season? Like, I don't know. I feel like because these have been 2 seasons that we've had fights with him, I feel like it's been fine. Like, if this was the first and only season with Vecna, I might be a little bit more frustrated. But with that, I really don't mind it. You know, we've had other seasons with fights with Demogorgons. That's another thing. Honestly, though, where were the Demogorgons in the finale? Like, well, were they just on strike? Where did they go? I don't know. But it's like nothing. We didn't even get any Demogorgons. But we got them in this season. Maybe that was their thought. Maybe like, well, you get the fight with Vecna and the Mind Flayer, so we're going to hold off on the Demogorgons. We gave you them in the rest of the season. They're gone. Okay? Or another thing is that they don't exist in Dimension X, which would be kind of stupid, but I thought they did. Maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe we aren't supposed to know the real reason, only to say is that I enjoyed the final fight. I really am happy with the conclusion, the resolution about how this all happened, and that we got this nice 40-minute-ish epilogue, as they say in SpongeBob, epilogue, flashback. I just love that they did this. I just love the emotional stuff, them graduating from high school, and you think that this girl, Stacy, walks up to Dustin and says, hey, we're having a party. You would think that they're going to go, talk to these girls, have a party, boy-girl party. No, they want to go have one last D&D campaign. Super nostalgic, super very emotional. And the fact that you think you see Eleven die, or sacrifice herself, not more or less die, sacrifice herself in the Upside Down when they blow it up. And Mike still thinks she's out there in a way. When, by the way, Callie, a sister death, fine, I guess. I love that she came back. To make it feel like, for the fans of her, I know that people were mad about that episode in season 2, and I personally am not. I dug that season. I've dug everything about Stranger Things. And her way to go out, like, I think Eleven's was more emotional because of her character, but Callie just like, okay, she's gone, that's cool. We didn't, like, it wasn't like people vibed with her, but for the fans that knew her, or that liked that she existed, she was there and she was gone. And I think it was a little bit more emotional than when Colby Smulders' Agent Maria Hill died in Secret Invasion. I liked it because none of Stranger Things made me angry. And unlike Secret Invasion, where Colby Smulders just dies, I'm like, oh, that's it? Okay. But anyway, I mentioned that nothing made me angry, although the military in this season, what a bunch of idiot douchebags. I was like, maybe they're friends with the military and welcome to Derry. I don't know. Because those guys are dickwads too. That's cool. Maybe they are. I don't know. Maybe the military in the 60s and the 80s just are jerks. It's all the military. We don't know. So, Mike thinks Ella's still out there because she sacrificed herself in the Upside-Down world when it blew up and, Callie's gone. But I think it's just more time to tell his friends that, hey, there might be something positive out there. The positive force. 11 has the force, so the force is strong with this one. Will the sorcerer, will the wise. I love him. And they play the last campaign with Max in there. Max wasn't in the first season, but she's in there. They finish their campaign. They go up to have cold lasagna from Mike's mom. Mike's the parents are all alive. Ted didn't die. Sleeping Ted. Dude, Ted does not sleep during his son's graduation. That's all I'll say. That's pretty cool. I thought he would be sleeping during his graduation, but apparently not. What else? So the parents are alive, and when they finish, when Mike and Friends, that's the next show coming out. Stranger Things, Mike and Friends. It's like Thomas and Friends, but for Mike and his friends. It's not happening. Ignore me. When they finish their campaign, Holly and her friends with Derek, and Derek is a treasure. Derek and Murray are great comedians. Bring the humor in this show, and I love how Derek just says to Vecna, "Suck my fat one." Just great comedy. I know he said that throughout the whole season, but great comedy. Not only great comedy, but great usage of the line delivery from where he kind of meant it as an insult, but now he gets it as a joke to the villain Vecna. So I love that. And like I said, Holly, Derek, and Friends. That's another show. No, I'm kidding. They're not making a show called that. Then they are like, we want to play the game too. And Mike sees them playing the game, trying to play the game their own way, and kind of reminiscing over his youth, like from season 1. And it's so good. So good, so nostalgic, and got me a little bit teary-eyed from, this epilogue is very, very emotional. And I think it's where, back in season 3 when it kind of felt very somber with the Byers moving with 11 to California, I remember how people thought, all right, this is the end of the show. But it wasn't. And I think this is the perfect way to end one of these shows. The Duffer Brothers just know how to pace their show well, how to make a satisfying finale. And I've heard people say, well, they should have done this, they should have done that. It's fine. They had their cast really grow, and where we saw Rock and Robin again. Where was her girlfriend Vicky? I don't know, but I just love how everything came to a finale for the main characters, for the 4 main characters, with Max, with Erica's doing something. We saw her, but it's fine. We saw her. Don't really know what Murray's doing, but we got the exchange by Mike and Hopper. What an exchange! All this sort of stuff. Defeation of Vecna. Defeation? Did I just make up a word? They defeated Vecna, and the parents are there. Argyle didn't come back, and Steve. We got the older adults talking together, and Hopper and Joyce are now married. He proposed, very emotional, very perfect, and Susie, Dustin's girlfriend from camp, didn't come back. Where we started in season 4, but I don't think she got a lot of good reception when her character came back in season 4. So I'm not terribly, and she's in Utah, so I'm not surprised. And I think the reason why when the girl came up, Stacy came up to Dustin and was like, "We're having a party later." I think that was the Duffers telling us, "Hey, do we want Dustin to go party with some girls because he's not with Susie anymore?" I think that was their storytelling with that. So I saw the nod, and I really want to all I'm going to think about now is that somehow, some way, shape, or form, those characters are going to have girlfriends. I mean, we won't see it because the show's not continuing, but that he's not with Susie anymore. That's all I took from this season, is that he aged up and he's not with Susie anymore. So when he graduates, that he's just done with her. Not like he had any bad blood, but I just don't think that the Duffers wanted to write her into this season. So that's kind of why they had that little exchange, "Hey, we're having a party later. Want to come over?" But now they want to play D&D, make it very emotional, and then the very awesome movie end credit style. So for me, guys, this is in my top 5 show of all time. It's in my top 5. It's number 5. I've got to remake that list of my top 10 shows at some point. But this for me, I think it was either at number 6 or number 5. I think I can't remember if I had Cobra Kai over this, but this takes the cake over Cobra Kai. What a satisfying finale. Can't say words. Finale. resolution. I am very happy. I did not start watching the show by myself. My mom and dad did, and then they got me into this because it's a pretty adult show with kids, and I'm very happy with how I love the show from the very beginning. I just remember like sitting down to watch it with my parents, like, what is this show? And now we get more lore, the build out, the Duffers, Sean Levy, Frank Darabont, who did Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors. The Shawshank Redemption come in and direct some of these episodes this season, and plenty of other directors that I don't even know, but just so many people coming in to work on this. I think, did Mike Flanagan not do any of this show? But I feel like Mike Flanagan should have, or maybe he did. I don't know. If Mike Flanagan did this show, congrats. I don't think that he did. But, I'm just sure there's other people that do this. But Sean Levy, dude. Sean Levy. Wow, you're a masterpiece. Working on this show, Free Guy, The Adam Project, Deadpool and Wolverine, now a Star Wars movie, Starfighter, bro. How can Sean Levy get better? Have a better resume on his hands? And Real Steel, and dear gosh, but I love this show. It's sad that it's ended, and I think every time like Will's speech and like this finale are so emotional because I remember like watching season 4 and thought, okay, some of this is emotional, yeah. But that's the thing though. I love the way season 3 ends, and I'm glad, dude. The music in this finale reminded me of music in the season 3 finale in the Starcourt Mall. I was like, yes, Kyle Dixon and Michael Stein, you rock at doing the music in this show. Let's go. So I think all around, it's not a hyperbole for me to say that this season is a 10 out of 10. There's a little bit of a rocky, ish moment in Volume 2, but I think for me, when it's all said and done, that this is a 10 out of 10 season. And the show overall, because you do have Season 2, which isn't a lot of people's favorites, but overall the show is probably, in my opinion, a 9 out of 10. It's just, it's so my vibe, and if you ask me, would I watch this again? Hell yeah. Anytime. It's a show that I would rewatch anytime with any person. I like Game of Thrones, but I think there's a lot of people with the ending did not do a lot of people justice, so this for me, from beginning to end, from where they started the series, from where they ended the series, a little bit of some rocky in-betweens, but when it's all said and done, from season 1, from the beginning of season 1 to the ending of each season, it is a chef's kiss in my book. Even with the Callie episode from the original, even bringing her back, everything that they've done thus far, to the conclusion, is satisfying as ever. Thank you, Duffer Brothers, for making, honestly, my own childhood. I grew up with the show. I'm the same age as the cat, as Mike and Will and stuff, Dustin, so I love it. And I'm glad that Dustin and Steve are still alive. Oh, thank you. I was going to be so mad if they died, but they didn't. And I don't care that 11 died. Everybody is alive pretty much. So that's great. And Nell Fisher, please be in more things like this. Your resume too, with Evil Dead Rise and Stranger Things. Go be more stuff, Nell Fisher. Love you as Holly. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me. What did you think of Stranger Things Season 5, the finale? Did you cry like I did? It would be so sad. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me. Don't forget to keep calm, watch the screen. Peace out, everyone. Bye.